morning, and welcome back to Wait, Did You Hear? This is the podcast all about what's been going on in the world around us. That means the good, the bad, the absurd, and everything in between. My name is Dave, and I'm going to be your host, and with me, as always, is my co-host,
Hilary.
And this week, lots of things been going on, obviously the most notably being Thanksgiving. So, first and foremost, before we get into the nitty-gritty about what's been going on in the world, first we want to talk about what's been going on in our world. So, do you want to go first? In the last week, what happened?
I've just been working, that's all.
Just been working. So, if you've been paying attention to the podcast, a couple weeks ago, I got fired. And so, Hilary started looking for work. And then the last podcast, just last week, she was doing the interviewing thing. And then this week, you've already been going through your first days and you've actually closed the store and all this at this point.
Yep, 2 days, and then I work later today as well.
And I'm sure you'll have to figure out how to juggle that. I think we all do, because I have to be a little bit of Mr. Mom when you're gone. So.
Yep.
So, yesterday was okay when you went to close, though, I will say. I got the kids to go to bed miraculously, so.
Yeah, I was actually surprised, because I figured it was a 50-50 shot if I was going to get home at, 11 o'clock, and they'd still be running around.
They're running around, one's hanging off the fan, riding it, and the other one, painting the walls, or whatever's happening.
Yeah,
like little monkeys going crazy.
Well, then you would have just been, passed out snoring.
Yeah.
While all that was happening.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, me, in the last week, I have been rewriting the first book that I wrote, which was a book called Breadman. This is a story that's very loosely based on an old short film series that I did with my brothers, which is essentially about a superhero that, in the short film series, just is a character that just likes bread. My story takes all of the inside jokes from the series and my life as a whole, and then it takes it really serious, really epic and cinematic, really graphically violent at times, and just a whole lot of fun. Overall, I'm just rewriting it because when I wrote that book in the first place, there were so many grammar mistakes. I cut over so many things that I could branch out and explain in detail. For instance, my original first chapter was like a page long, maybe a little bit over one page at 650 words or so. When I rewrote that first chapter, it ended up being 5 pages at 2,600 words or so almost 2,000 words more than...
So you just added some fluff.
It wasn't fluff. It was all that stuff that should have been there in the first place. Because my brothers and I did a lot of short films, did a lot of filming stuff, we were so used to the idea of transcripts and scripts as a whole, which just cut to the chase. They cut to all the dialogue and all the action. It doesn't talk about why this is happening or, the senses that you're having in the first place, why they're doing what... All this needed to be in there, and now I'm adding it. That's all I'm saying. And I've been going back, I've been rereading it. It's pretty good. I'm like, this is decent. I like it. Like, for instance, the first chapter is all about a scientist that's trying to make a breakthrough, a scientific breakthrough. And basically in my first book, all I really said is he struggled for a while and then he figured it out, right? But in my revamped version, I'm like, well, what's he actually doing scientifically that he's struggling with? And so he's going through the trials and tribulations, and it's explaining this in detail. And I think it works. So now that we've talked about what's happened in the last week, let's go ahead and talk about the question of the day.
Riddle me this, what did you say? Oh, that's right, it's the question of the day.
I actually have a couple of questions of the day. I wrote down a couple of things that popped up in my head. The first one is kind of one of those, if you were to die, and everybody around you would say, well, she died doing what she loved. What would it be that you were doing?
Drinking coffee? I don't know.
Drinking a little bit too much coffee.
Yeah, and my heart explodes.
And your heart, yeah.
Too much caffeine.
That has happened.
Yeah.
For certain people.
Yep.
Especially either the young or the extremely old, I would imagine.
Yeah.
They just can't handle it. I don't know what I would be doing.
Watching a movie.
Watching a movie. Writing. Something like that. The second question that I had was, in the world of movies, what's your biggest hot take?
have no idea.
Like, what do you believe that everybody else disagrees with?
That superhero movies are stupid.
That is a hot take. That is a hot take, especially in today's day and age. Your hot take on superhero movies is mostly based off of when movies were in early 90s, late 80s, and they were very different than they are today.
I still don't like the ones from today, though.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. They are completely out of the realm of believability.
Because
there's no struggle. There's no
There is,
depth.
though.
No, there's not.
There
it's
is.
The good guy always wins.
No,
and
they don't.
He never has to question anything.
The good guy
And-
sometimes loses in current
they
movies.
lose the little battle, and then they win the big battle at the end. Who cares?
Well, a lot of movies these days with superheroes, they introduce things that you should think about in the real world scenario. A lot of them are metaphors for what's going on in the real world. It's stuff like that. That's what I appreciate about superhero movies these days. Back then, they didn't really have that. The only time that they really had it was in a really bad failed Superman movie where the only reason why Christopher Reeve decided to come back to the role for that fourth movie, which ended up sucking, was he wanted to take all of the nukes on the planet, take them out into space, and destroy them. It was very politically driven at the very beginning. I actually really appreciated what they did at the beginning of that movie. But that was a really bad movie after that point. So, like, that's like the only time I could think of where it's like, oh, this is actually relating to something real world, because he was motivated to come back because of the real world situation. Stuff like that. James Gunn actually did something similar in the Superman movies, but it works more for his movie, I guess.
I just don't believe, superhero or not, that anybody is just 100% pure good. And that bugs me. So I prefer stories like The Boys, which takes superheroes in a very different direction. Something darker, grittier.
Do you remember an old 90s, technically superhero movie? Was it Mystery Men?
There was one called that. But I don't remember anything about it other than the, like, bleach blonde hair on the one guy.
There was a movie that came out at that point where it was a whole group of unlikely superheroes that I think some of them just made things worse and whatever, because it was more realistic in terms of that. But yeah, there's different versions of superhero things that you can find all over the place.
Nah, that's pretty boring.
They're not always the same. I think that what you're talking about is actually a lot more akin to DC Comics than Marvel.
Don't know. Anytime you've ever forced me to watch one, it is just bad.
Whatever. When we started doing the MCU, you watched one movie.
And I made fun of it the entire time.
Because you were going to before you started the movie. You made the decision to do that.
Because superhero movies suck.
Okay, well, the degree to disagree for now. We're going to go into the special of the day.
It's the special of the day, the special of the freaking day.
This is the part of the podcast where we talk about what's coming up in the next week and what kind of special holidays exist, whether they be fun holidays, important holidays, and everything in between. Starting with today. Today is International Shift Worker Sunday. So that's like you.
Okay. Not really. Don't they mean like more factory shifts?
No, shift workers mean people who work in shifts, and it doesn't matter what job place you work at. If you work in shifts, this is for you, and on Sunday. So
Okay, well, I will be participating fully.
Okay.
Here.
Tomorrow, Monday, World AIDS Day.
It's also Cyber Monday.
Yes, it is also Cyber Monday, but it's one of those things where I don't really count it because Black Friday has turned into Black Week and a Half.
Well, that's not true, because there's also Giving Tuesday.
Is that Tuesday after Cyber Monday?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
So
well,
it's where you make your donations.
There's actually a couple of things that I have for Tuesday, and it ain't giving. I did see that on the list, but I didn't.
You didn't highlight it because
I didn't highlight
you don't
it.
care.
I don't care. Well, the thing about it is, at this point, we're talking about December already. And in general, the reason why I didn't include it is because December, as a month, has a quote-unquote holiday, and that is Giving Month.
Okay.
Or the month of giving, I should say. Yeah. So, month of giving, and then the day of giving. I mean, what's the difference?
Giving Tuesday is a day where a lot of people will match donations just to encourage people to donate to specific causes. That's
Okay. What I have written is 2 holidays that I don't know if it was a coincidence that they were basically the same thing, but one is Bartender Appreciation Day. The other is National Bartender Day.
I'm pretty sure that's the same thing.
Well, they had different clickable links, hyperlinks, that when you clicked them, they both had different paragraphs explaining each one. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's connected, but appreciate your bartender, those of you that go out and drink.
And anybody working in the service industry, especially this time of year.
Yes, that's true, because December is a depressing holiday.
It's
a depressing month, as it's busy and it's depressing.
Yeah, I guess. For some people, it's depressing.
And so they go to the bar. Wednesday it's one of those fun holidays, I guess. It's just National Heather Day, so appreciate the heathers in your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where's National Hilary Day?
This probably exists somewhere.
I doubt it.
If I Googled it probably found it. Hold on.
Well, yeah, but it would be spelled wrong.
Probably. National Hilary Day is celebrated on October 26th. We missed it.
Oh, okay.
And yes, it was spelled wrong, and it is for Hillary Clinton.
Probably, yeah. So.
Anyways, yeah. So that National Heather Day. I don't really know many Heathers in my life. I have
know one, my cousin.
Your cousin, and I had an ex named Heather. But that's about it. Thursday is National Sock Day. Okay, National Sock Day.
Oh, so.
This is a day to celebrate those rarest of socks that manage to stick together, and maybe to mourn those socks that lost their significant others in the wash over the years. Whether you're a fan of knee-high, crew ankle, or low-cut socks, or even the ones sporting tiny holes, the history and significance of National Sock Day will make you love your socks even more.
Okay.
I just like that there's a sock holiday.
All right.
It's great.
Well, I have a special pair of socks I wear every Friday.
Now, Friday sounds like fun. Okay? There's a couple that I wrote down. There's one that's called Bathtub Party Day.
That does not sound fun.
You need a bathtub party? Come on. And the other one is an International Ninja Day.
Okay, that could be a little bit more fun.
What about ninjas in the bathtub?
They're still making ninja dirty soup. Baths are just kind of gross. You're just making like...
Just so focused on that.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the last holiday of the week. On Saturday, I have it written down as National Microwave Oven Day.
You know, fun fact, my mom refused to get a microwave oven for my entire life until I was left the house.
Why? Because it caused cancer?
Yes, because she was afraid of the radiation causing cancer in her children.
Good Lord.
So we did not have one until we were
It's crazy. I can't think of a time in my life where we didn't have a microwave. I can remember a time when we didn't even have a VCR, but not a microwave. And ever since I moved out, we've had industrial strength microwaves. We've had some nice ones. Yeah, that brings us to the recipe of the week, actually. Going straight in from microwave to the recipe of the week.
Who's that cooking? My hunger's peaked. Holy crap, it's the recipe of the week.
This week we had shepherd's pie soup.
Yep.
And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know how to put it in any other way other than I was disappointed.
Well, I love shepherd's pie. I really do. And actually, technically, I love cottage pie because we do not cook it with lamb. We always use ground beef. But
it's still called shepherd's pie. I don't care.
No, it's called cottage pie.
But nobody says that.
Well, I get it, but it's
whatever.
not true shepherd's pie if you're not using lamb, I believe.
I still don't, the soup itself wasn't true.
Yeah, it's missing something. There's something not right about it.
I thought the entire thing tasted bland.
Yes.
When we threw in the frozen vegetables, which it wanted to mix, I wanted to get the kind without green beans, but I figured it was easy enough to just throw in the ones because it was already open with green beans. I thought that the green beans tasted pretty bad in it.
I hate green beans.
I'm okay with it in certain things, not in this. And it's stuck out like a sore thumb for me. I think I need more corn. It just tasted bland. I ended up adding the tortilla strips in mine because those are flavorful, and gave it a little bit more of a crunch, and it was a little bit better.
Yeah, it definitely, it needs something. And if there's like any experts out there in cooking and culinary arts, help us out.
Yeah.
Because it is, we need something to make it better, because we've made so much of this and we're going to be eating it for days.
There's so much. I threw out the suggestion that in one of the steps in the recipe was you're cooking so much potatoes. Half of them are supposed to be mashed, and half of them are supposed to be cubed, and then you're supposed to stir it all in together anyway. And I'm like, why don't we just throw in the cubes like normal in the soup?
Because the mash made it thicker.
Maybe, but you can do that different ways. You can do that through the cornstarch. You can do that with flour.
But cornstarch and flour would have made it more bland. The potatoes were mashed with butter, so that did add some flavor.
I get it. But then we needed more potatoes, because I feel like it needed the potatoes, the mashed potatoes, on top of the soup to be more like shepherd's pie and have a consistency change or something. I probably would have been okay with that. I also been okay if we actually used our spicy beef broth.
That might have helped.
It probably would have helped a little bit. I don't even know if fully. Maybe some hot sauce or something. But like, it is, I don't know. What would you rate it out of like 5?
Out of 5?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, 2 or 3. I mean, like, it's not inedible or anything. It's just not great.
I would say like 1.
Really?
I don't like it to the degree that if you said, okay, here's your dinner, and you scooped out some leftovers, I'd be like, like.
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to be like, if somebody's like, oh, we're having this soup today, I won't be excited about it, but I'm also not going to have a problem with it.
I mean, it doesn't make me gag, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
So 1.5. I don't like it.
Well, yeah, that's just it. What would you rate something that's completely inedible then?
0.
Okay, because
Probably.
I don't. That's why I said a 2 or a 3.
0,
because, like,
0
3
or
is right
1,
in the middle.
like 0 or 1/2 probably. If it was like to the point of me gagging, or like how we had
that one soup I had to dump out because I'm like, that is the most.
And it happens
thing.
from time to time. You're gonna come up to recipes that aren't so good for whatever reason. And I also want to say that maybe our frozen vegetables weren't good anymore.
I don't think they weren't good. I don't
didn't think they had much flavor. The main things that actually had flavor in terms of the soup stuff was like, I think the celery did.
Yeah.
And you were worried about having too much celery. I'd be like, I could have probably used more celery.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like the onion and stuff like that helped with the flavor, but those were fresh. So
well, yeah, I mean, our frozen vegetables have probably been in there. They're probably
plus,
past their
we
prime.
ended up using garlic powder instead of real garlic.
That is true, because all of our real garlic was very, very bad.
So we had to substitute that with garlic powder, and you don't know how that ends up being sometimes. So I don't know. Maybe that hurt it a little bit.
I also don't think, like, it has sour cream in it, and I just don't think that helps. If anything, I think it hurts. I think it's weird to have sour cream in a shepherd's pie.
You're right. I didn't even think about that. I mean, in general, when we say throw, sour cream in a soup, you don't really think twice about it. It's like, okay, it's going to be a creamy soup.
Yeah.
But, yeah, with shepherd's pie, I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
It probably doled it down.
It most likely did.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, that's another option. I suggested maybe adding cheese and some sort of acidic something.
That's why I was like, give me some spice.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
So we will be throwing a link to this recipe in our description for the podcast episode. You could check it out yourself. You could try it. You can look through the ingredients and tell us if you would add or subtract anything on that.
Yeah, help us out, because we have leftovers
and
we have to eat them.
Yeah, when we don't have enough homeless in our city to give it to.
Well, I'm sure that we do, but we can't afford to just throw out an entire batch of soup.
I don't know. So yeah, I don't know what to say. This one's not so great. You also made pretzels.
Yes, chocolate covered espresso pretzels.
Something. Yeah, I haven't had them yet.
You had them before I added the chocolate.
Right.
So it's a 2-step process.
But the chocolate adds some sweetness.
Right. It's a 2-step process. You take your pretzels and like sugar, espresso powder, some cinnamon, I think vanilla.
Yeah.
and then you cook them in that kind of coating, and then you dip them in the chocolate.
Right. So you gave it to me before the chocolate, so it was just the saltiness of the pretzel as well as the bitterness of the coffee.
And a little sweetness. There's brown sugar on it.
A little bit of
So like that
okay.
caramelized taste.
I thought, I was like, it's an interesting flavor what you gave me, which I was sitting there, I was like, it definitely needs some more sweetness, and you're
sure.
which chocolate do you want? You want the dark chocolate or the milk? I was like, definitely the milk, because it's already got enough of the bitter.
Yeah, but then I didn't have enough of the milk. I
So-
could have mixed milk and dark chocolate, but that's weird too.
I know. So, yeah.
have it.
I'll include the link to that as well in the description. You can
And
check
to
that
be-
out.
And to be fair, we only made these because we had a bunch of pretzels,
Yeah.
and nobody really eats plain pretzels
I
in our
do.
house. You do, but like you
Did
don't
you
eat
use
them
all of
very
them?
quickly. I did, yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Anyways, so that's the recipe of the week. Next up on the list, we have the book of the week.
It's the book of the week. Yeah.
This week, it's up to me to talk about the book. Next week, it's going to be about you, whatever you want to talk about. I don't even think you've started anything.
Does it have to be a book?
It has been since the start, yes. The book that I chose to read this week is a memoir. It was written by Jeremy Renner. It is called My Next Breath. This details the harrowing event that he went through when he was run over by the snowcat snowplow machine thing. Now, we've all seen it on the news. He's done some interviews since then, so we all kind of get the idea of what happened. The book does talk about it in detail, and then it talks about kind of what went through his head mentally as to how he ultimately stayed alive through it all, how he pushed himself to go further, how he, kept pushing, kept fighting to be where he's at now, which is surprising because you look at him, you're like, he was run over by, by one of these heavy machines. It doesn't seem like it anymore. He was reconstructed very well, but it really did run over his entire body. I thought it ran over a part of it, but it ran over the entire body. Like vertically alongside the wheel, like it just over his entire body. His eye popped out and everything.
Gross.
And he's like, "Oh, I was looking out my one eye with my other eye." I was like, "What's going on?"
That's
But here's the thing, though. I did read the audiobook, so I read the book alongside the audiobook at the same time because I like to see what changes are made, if at all. And there definitely was changes in the audiobook here to the point where I'm like, if you're going to read the book, I think that you'll get a much better experience out of the audiobook than the book itself. The book itself is very repetitive. It's just about, it's my family, it's my family, it's my family. This is what's keeping me going. This is what's keeping me going. My daughter. However, if you read the audiobook, he gets emotional when reading it. You can tell he's choking up and trying to get the words out. When he's telling a joke here and there, he laughs at his own joke while reading the book. You hear the 911 call in the audiobook, and there's like commentary too. Well, not like here and there where he'll be like, my mom was scared to death for me or whatever, and then he'll put in this thing where he's like, sorry mom, which is not in the book, or like, my nephew stopped me from drinking because I was on these really big narcotic painkiller medicines, and then in the audiobook he goes, good boy. In the regular book, it does not say that. Or he'll have an expletive, just drops the F-bomb. Like, I've never had this experience in my effing life before. But it doesn't say that in the book. So, if you're going to read a version of this book, definitely read the audiobook. It has a lot more humanity or just human emotion in it. I rated it 4 out of 5. If I were to rate the actual book, it would probably be 3 out of 5 or 3.5. The audiobook is better, 4 out of 5. This was released back in April of this year, April 29th, 2025, and it averages 4.21 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads, which is 26,000 ratings. So overall, pretty good book, especially given the fact that we've all heard the story before. He's talked about it on multiple occasions on different talk shows and things like that. So it's not really a story that we've not heard before, but it is from his perspective, especially when it comes down to how his family came to terms with it and how he dealt with being in the hospital and what happened after he left the hospital and a good reason why he should have returned to the hospital, but he refused to. He's a fighter in a lot of different ways, and it's very, very interesting because he's also very stubborn. He called himself the worst patient ever for being in the hospital because he wasn't doing anything that they were suggesting he did. Like, he had to go to the bathroom. He was waiting for the nurse to come in and help him do whatever. He's like, screw this. I have legs I can walk, even though they're shattered and smashed and whatever. And he's shuffling himself into the bathroom before the nurse could get there and stuff. So yeah, he's like the worst patient ever, but it's also what helped him get through it in the first place. He contributed going to Lamaze class with his mom at such a young age as to one of the main reasons he was alive in the first place, because when he was crushed and he had his lung punctured and all of this, he's over there, like trying to breathe, remembering that breathing is the most important thing. But I do believe he died shortly, for a minute, before they revived him in the hospital.
Okay.
It's a very interesting story, I think, anyway. So if you're a fan of Jeremy Renner and memoirs in general, it's a pretty good one. I haven't read a lot of memoirs, but now I see the appeal to memoirs in general, but also like memoirs in audiobook format if they are reading their own. I think that there's a lot there that is interesting to find. That brings us to our main segment of the podcast where we talk about current events, what's going on in the world. It's called Wait, Did You Hear?
Wait, did you hear?
Hear what, dear?
Did you hear? Did you hear? Now listen here.
Starting off, we have just kind of the current events, the news, stuff in the government, stuff like that. I think we all saw that the 2 members of the National Guard were shot and killed in Washington, D.C. The motives remain unclear. I don't know much about that. I know that the White House was locked down, I think, and things like that.
I don't know. When you look at the news, it's just kind of another day, another shooting. I don't know anything.
Well, not necessarily to the National Guard.
Well, maybe not, but I mean, it's just kind of common.
Yeah. Another thing was that it was prior to or on Thanksgiving. I think it was prior to. J.D. Vance came up on stage and talked about Thanksgiving in general, and it was just funny because he's like, raise your hands if you actually like turkey. And some people would raise their hands, and he just called them all liars, basically saying, no, nobody likes turkey. Be honest with yourselves. You're full of crap.
Well, maybe he needed to be more specific to like a big roasted turkey dinner or something, because turkey sandwiches are insanely popular. You can find a turkey club in pretty much every restaurant in this country.
Yeah, and I think his argument was that the only reason people do turkey on Thanksgiving is not because they like the taste of it, it's because it's an American bird, and it's an American holiday, and we are celebrating an American holiday with an American bird, and we are just patriotic because of it.
Well, I think maybe later you might disagree with that.
Yeah. Going on from the government, I think there was more stuff in the government, but...
like the declassification of professions.
Oh, yeah. Was that this last week or the week before?
I don't know.
The declassification saying that nurses aren't a profession?
Yeah, they're considered
what do
professionals.
what do they call a professional then?
I don't know. Like
Because,
a doctor, a lawyer,
okay, so
a CPA,
so in the same breath, they would probably say the same thing, that a paralegal is not a professional.
Well, but again, I would disagree with that.
I'm just saying, like, that's the classification. They're talking about the person, the talent, quote unquote, the talent, the lawyers, the doctors, the whatever.
But nurses are certified.
Yes.
Like you have to go through certain schoolings.
And I'm not saying that they're not
process.
professionals. I believe they are. I know that they are. And I actually got to take it a step further, and by saying anybody who has a job is a professional, give me a break.
Well, yeah, but like it's going to hurt funding.
Yeah,
is
that's
what it really
the main
boils down
thing
to.
is funding. Yep.
Because when you are going for your degrees or your certifications and different schooling, like how much are you allowed to take out? And that's where it's going to hurt people. And then there's going to be less nurses.
Yes.
And they might get paid less if they're not classified as a professional job.
Yeah, and it's at that point you're just saying, oh, it's not that they don't think they're professionals. It's just a political thing. That's all it really comes down to, is taking a political loophole to doing something you want, or stopping them from doing something you don't want them to do, or whatever.
No, it's insulting either way.
It is. Moving on, let's talk about the kind of food and drink section that I talk about. Usually we have Taco Bell and Hollister have teamed up. They have teamed up to create a new clothing line, which essentially is just merch for Taco Bell.
Okay, this whole thing sounds stupid, but okay.
I mean, I guess it's just weird that it's Hollister doing the merch. That's what's weird to me.
I didn't even think Hollister was still a thing. Like, Abercrombie and Hollister, I thought they died a long time ago. They were popular in the 90s, but I thought they were gone.
No, I mean, I've worked at Hollister.
In the 90s.
Not in the 90s. Not in the 90s.
2000s.
I was in elementary school.
Okay, fine. But in the early 2000s then.
Yeah.
Like 90s, early 2000s. Yes, they were big things. But, maybe I haven't been to a mall in enough time.
Well, we haven't. We don't have a mall.
That's true. But
and even when we did, we're such a small town that we don't have the same things that normal malls have. So, yeah. We haven't been to a regular mall in a long time. So that's what's going on with, I guess, Taco Bell. I won't be getting that. You know how expensive Hollister is?
Oh, I don't care.
It's an arm and a leg.
Taco Bell merch.
I remember that specifically because when I worked at Hollister, they wanted us to either be wearing Hollister-specific clothing if we're out on the floor, or something that looks like it. It's their main colors. It's whatever. There's
colors?
Yeah, I mean, it was like navy, gray, and white, I think was their colors.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
And it had to be the right styling and everything. And I remember you would appreciate it more than I would because I hated it. But their specific outfit for shoes was no shoes. You had to be walking around in the flip-flops.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And you don't care. I don't like flip-flops, so it bothered me.
Well, I mean, wearing them doesn't bother me, but I just don't consider them overly attractive or anything.
It bothers me after doing it for a while, I would say. If I'm doing it for several hours, I'm not very comfortable. Let's going on to like events or entertainment.
No, you missed.
What?
Dr. Pepper and Johnsonville are teaming up.
Oh, you just brought that up today, yeah.
Yes, I did, because I just saw it today.
Yeah.
There is going to be...
Is that real or AI?
That is real. It is going to be... That was a whole news article.
So...
Johnsonville is going to have a Dr. Pepper and flavored sausage.
Sausage? Bratwurst?
Brat? Sausage? I don't know. Same difference?
I'm all for it.
I'm a little bit terrified.
Technically, the last time we had a Dr. Pepper flavored food item was the beans.
Yeah.
And I think that those beans were fine. Like you could, it was a very subtle thing in the background. You could taste it, or if you were trying to. Otherwise, it was just, kind of a baked bean thing. But I'm guessing the same goes for a sausage. It's going to taste like a sausage with a slight tang. And if you're sitting there trying to think about it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I can sort of taste the Dr. Pepper kind of a thing. I don't think it's going to be in your face.
Probably not. And, to be fair, pops and sodas in general, they're used for a lot of glazes for meat.
Yeah,
so, like, there's
sugar,
Dr. Pepper.
the sugars in them.
Yeah, Coke and Dr. Pepper are found in ham glazes sometimes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not unusual. It's just a little out there.
I like it. I'm much more game for that than the Taco Bell Hollister.
Okay.
Though I do love Taco Bell. I love my Taco Bell. Anyways, so in entertainment, I just played this clip earlier today. Kate Beckinsale showed up on the Jimmy Kimmel Show, and she nonchalantly said that her daughter's boyfriend has laid a couple of eggs recently.
That's just kind of gross.
She said she didn't understand it either, but there was a shell and a yolk.
That's kind of...
So medically, there are things that can look like eggs, but it can't really be good either, right? If you are dispersing this from your body. I mean, I had a male bird that laid eggs, and for a minute, we thought that we got it wrong the whole time it was female, but it was male. Yeah, and after it laid whatever it laid, it dropped dead. So I'm like, again, it can't be a good thing, right?
Most likely not.
So I'm just saying. So that's what's been talked about recently within the last day, I would say. In commercials, there was good old John Travolta Kinda, sort of. He reprised his role from Grease, but a Santa Claus version.
Okay.
He was doing it for a Capital One commercial. He sang a version of Greased Lightning. He was performing all the same type of moves, the dance sequences that he did so many years ago, all while advertising for Capital One in a Santa Claus outfit. I thought it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a fan of Grease, and I don't know how old he is, but he's old. John,
You have to know.
I do. 71. He
Jeez.
is 71 years old. He's doing a pretty good job, though, as for being over 70. I will say that much. In the world of movies, Rush Hour 4 is officially back in development after years of being shelved. Reportedly, all thanks to Donald Trump, who suggested reviving the franchise.
Again, I think that's really stupid that they've got nothing, that the sitting president has nothing better to do than be like, oh, you know what? I like this movie. Why don't you make another one?
You guys really need to turn on Rush Hour again. As much as I love Rush Hour, I feel like the series is dead. Jackie Chan has not made a very good action, fight choreography, comedy, whatever, in a very long time, because he's even older than John Travolta, you know? Maybe. I'm not sure.
And now you have to, God, for heaven's sakes.
Oh, he's the same age. He is the same age as John Travolta, 71. So, I know that they've wanted to do it. I also know that Jackie Chan wants to make the next movie with Owen Wilson. Those movies were...
The Shanghai Noon?
Yeah, Shanghai Dawn, Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Dawn, whatever. They never got around to doing the third one, but he wants to do it. So maybe after doing this, they would maybe get the green light to do that? I don't know.
Don't know. I guess you just have to ask the president which movie we should be watching next. So stupid.
And then Knives Out 3 has hit the theaters this past week, which marks, I think, the first time that this series got a theatrical release before it was heading to Netflix in a few more weeks. I do like the Knives Out series, so I'm excited to check out that one. Zootopia 2 was also released in theaters in the last week. And Regretting You, the latest Colleen Hoover film adaptation, has dropped on digital this Tuesday, which we checked out.
Yep.
And it's average.
But it's better than the last one.
Yeah, I would say it's better than the last one for a variety of different reasons. A little bit of a better cast, I would say, but the story it's just not...
I told you, like, I read the book, and it's been a long time since I've read the book, so I don't remember the details, but I do feel like the movie was lopsided. I feel like they gave a lot more better story to the mom instead of the daughter. I think that the daughter had a stronger story in the book, and I think that is what the movie was lacking.
It's possible.
There was not balance.
But I will say that out of everything that I've read from Colleen Hoover, I'm still gobsmacked as to why a lot of them haven't been adapted while these have been.
Well, there's more coming.
I know, and the better ones are coming. But, like, it's weird to me that they started with these.
Well, no, it's not weird that they started with It Ends With Us, because that is arguably her most popular.
And that's something I didn't understand either. I don't understand why that was so popular. That was not one of her best.
In your opinion, a lot of people love it. But that movie was a hot garbage.
I think the movie was just as good as the book in terms of they both weren't great.
The movie was worse.
Because I didn't care about the book either. But then again, the second book, the sequel to that,
that's just dumb.
That was just pointless.
Oh, maybe I'll talk about that at Grievances then.
Well, good. Which brings us to the TV part of the news, and really only one thing to talk about in TV. Stranger Things Season 5 premiered the first of 3 parts this past Wednesday at 8 p.m., which was a very unusual release time for Netflix. It usually releases, not at midnight, but, midnight in the West Coast. So here in the East Coast, it's at 3 a.m., but we never see stuff from Netflix releasing at 8 p.m., which we knew right from the get-go when they did that, there was going to be reports of Netflix crashing. And there was reports. Thankfully, it did not crash for me. And I did watch the 4 episodes that they released within a couple days, 2 to 3 days, I finished it. Because with Stranger Things, that's what you want to do, because I've already seen people trying to spoil the last moments of the 4th episode, and that would have been disappointing to see if I hadn't seen it first. Really strong start, but what's going on here is that part 1 which was released, is 4 episodes, which is 3 like 1 hour long-ish episodes and 1.5 hour long episode. Part 2 is going to be dropping on Christmas Day. There's going to be 3 episodes there. Part 3 is going to be dropping on New Year's Eve, and it's 1 episode. It's a 2 hour long finale. Very excited for that. But that brings us to the grievances and gratitude.
Gripes and thanks, hand in hand. Life's a mess, but ain't it grand? Don't give me that attitude. It's grievances and gratitude.
Well,
So, what is your grievance?
well, one of them is Netflix deciding that all of their stupid shows have to be broken up into like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
Not all.
A lot of them. It's kind of annoying.
I think Stranger Things was the first time I've seen them do 3 parts. I've seen them do 2 parts before, but I've never seen them do 3. Then again, you don't have to look at it that way, because Stranger Things, the 3rd part, is basically just a movie. It's a 2 hour long episode.
But still, it's unnecessary.
Yeah. So you said one of them is Netflix, so you have other ones?
Yeah, but now I forgot.
So it can't be that bad. I have a grievance, pet peeve, whatever.
Okay.
My pet peeve is our kid, our 10-year-old Liam, cannot open pop bottles. It is bothering me.
That's always bothered you. I remember what my grievance was.
Oh, good.
It is books that are popular, that they feel the need to write a second book, but just from the perspective of a different character.
Oh,
and like, it's
yes.
just repetitive with a little bit of new stuff
They've
thrown
done
in
this
there.
a few times.
They do it a lot. They
did it on Twilight, but they also did it in the 50 Shades of Grey.
Colleen Hoover has done it multiple times.
Oh, I knew she did it on the 1, but...
Yeah, she did. And then that stupid series that I read.
I didn't think she did too many sequels.
Slammed. There's
Right.
3 books.
Right.
Which are like that. There's the other one, the Losing Hope and Finding Hope or Hopeless or whatever. Like, they do that there too. And I think she's got another one. Like, there is just something wrong. Like, if you have to tell the story from a different character's perspective and it's basically just repetitive, like, you did something wrong the first go around.
Okay,
then.
yeah.
Because it's not it was a complete story or not.
I don't
story.
call that. I don't call that a sequel. I don't call that a spin-off. I call that a companion piece, where it's like the only people that really should be reading them are those completists, where like you're just obsessed. You just need more of it, and so they give you more of it from a different perspective, and you're like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, but you always go into there like thinking, okay, great, I liked that book, so I'll read the second one. Mm-hmm. And then it's just a disappointment. It's just a pile of garbage. Like, there's just no point to it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I don't understand that. And I've run into the same type of thing, and I hate when books do it. It's dumb.
Like, if you're going to do that, then just make it in the same universe, but like a different character. So like the Virgin River series, take it as you may, because they're not great stories or anything. It's a bunch of stories about new characters. Every book features a new couple, but you get tidbits of continuing stories with prior couples. Like, they do it right. Like, they just might, it's in the same universe. You might say hi to a character and talk to them for a little bit again and get like some information from them. Bridgerton does it too.
I would also make the point that if it is a time travel novel, then you can get different perspectives of something you've already read, but it's unique because things change.
You know, but TV shows do that too.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. I remember that one episode, and you and I disagree with that, I think. That one episode of Dawson's Creek where they have like all 4 characters.
Oh, that's not time travel.
It's not time travel. It's
you,
like
this.
this.
You learn bits and pieces like a puzzle from everybody's perspective. You think it's one way, or a lot of shows that have some kind of crime, and it's like a detective talking to each person, and you learn from their point of view what happened, and because everybody's point of view is a little bit skewed and it's not factual, it's like, I've heard this story before, but I didn't hear it like this, so which one's accurate? And they have to piece it all together. I do like that.
I don't. That's the same thing. That is the same thing as writing a second follow-up book from a different perspective. It's just shorter.
Well, they did do, I feel like a lot of the stuff on How I Met Your Mother and things. So when you're talking about comedy, they're like, well, I'm going to tell it my way. This guy was dancing and singing stupid words, and the guy's like, I was never doing that in the first place. And it's funny because you can make him do whatever you want because it's, either a memory or a storytelling or whatever, and it's funny that way.
I guess Grounded for Life, they did it like that too. You had different perspectives. You would have like somebody be like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. And they'd be like, well, here's the thing. This is what happened.
Yeah. I like those. I think that there's a way to do that is entertaining and still feels somewhat fresh.
Okay. I will give you that because Grounded for Life, I love that show. But for the most part, people get it wrong.
Yeah. All right. So, do you have any gratitude?
No. I am not liking working multiple jobs. I do not like people. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself where I work with people. I have no gratitude right now.
Well, then again, you work with a lot of very different, colorful people.
Well, and I have no problems with people who are different or colorful in any regard. It's just, I don't know. It's been a rough week.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to be grateful for either, other than the very general things in which I'm always grateful, other than, you. But we just...
Pretty sure you're lying.
I'm not lying. We just, in the mail today, got the PS5 for Christmas.
Yeah.
And,
family gift this year.
It's a family gift.
I don't think we saved any money. I thought the idea was that by getting a gift for the family that we all partake in and share would be cheaper than buying individual gifts, but I actually don't think it was any cheaper, but alas, that's what we did.
I think it was slightly cheaper. I do.
I think we go overboard sometimes, especially when it's individual gifts. And
so I'm grateful for, I guess, the coming days of just kind of getting used to this PlayStation thing. I'm not a huge gamer, but having that in the house and making sure the kids don't destroy it might, bring us together a little bit more for certain things.
I mean, it'll definitely, I think the boys in general, they'll be playing together.
Yeah.
More.
So I guess that's the main thing. But that brings us to the final part of the podcast. Before we close out, we have a game that is on Hilary.
It's not a game, it's a quiz.
That's a game.
It's a quiz.
Okay.
All right.
I'll get everything wrong, but go ahead.
We have a 10-question quiz that is Thanksgiving themed, holiday themed, just this time of year themed.
I'm going to get it all wrong. I know.
Okay. Question 1.
Yes.
When was the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? 1898, 1924, 1902, 1956. I know you have no idea, so just pick one.
I'll go with the 24?
That's the one you're going to pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually correct.
Yes. I knew it couldn't be the 56. That was way too...
Well, yeah, but...
That was too recent, and I know that, I'm thinking in the back of my head, the Miracle on 34th Street, which is about the Macy's Day Parade, I think came out before that.
Well, yeah, but I also said 1898 and 1902.
Not that way, no.
But 1902 could have been, too.
It could have been.
It was only
It could have
18,
been. It could have been, but I figured a safe one was the 1924.
Okay. This one's kind of a trick question. True or false? Benjamin Franklin wanted the turkey to be the national bird instead of an eagle. It's a 50-50 shot.
True.
Now, most people think that it's true. It is. Most people think that it's true. But it is false. So that is a myth based on a letter that he wrote to his daughter that people have read, claiming that the turkey was more respectable and courageous than the eagle. But he never proposed that the turkey be the national bird. He just admired the turkey, and so people kind of inferred that he wanted that to be the national bird. So that's why I said it's kind of a trick question.
Because I had heard that in my life before.
Yeah, most people have.
I couldn't remember if it was like Benjamin Franklin. Your trick question was like, oh, it's Thomas Jefferson. No,
no.
whatever.
No, the trick part is that most people think that it's true because we've all heard about this letter and have made inferences, which is not necessarily true. Question 3, and this is multiple choice. Who invented the modern day pumpkin pie? A. Libby McNeil and Libby of Libby's Canned Pumpkin. B. Martha Stewart. C. Julia Child. Or D. Amelia Simmons.
I don't know who the last one is.
Can't help you.
I feel like I almost feel like I should say the last one because I don't know who it is. I mean, before you said anything, I'm like Martha Stewart, and then you're like Julia Child. I'm like, oh, it could be Julia Child. That was Julia Child was the Martha Stewart before Martha Stewart, and maybe the other person was the Julia Child before the Julia Child. So I'm gonna say the last person.
Okay, it is Amelia Simmons.
Yes.
1796. She had a cookbook called American Cookery, and that is the modern day.
Okay.
There was also a version in 17th century France, had a tort of pumpkin in a pastry shell. Also, American settlers had their own methods with hollowed out pumpkins that they would fill with milk and honey and spices and cook them and make sort of like a pumpkin pudding. So like there's been many transformations of this, but the modern day was 1796, Amelia Simmons.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 4. How much money has Mariah Carey made from All I Want for Christmas Is You?
All of it.
A, 10 to 12 million. B, $1,000.
Well, on a weekend?
You don't know what the royalty agreement is. You don't know.
That's true.
C, 60 to 75 million. Or D, $1 billion.
I'm gonna go with $1 billion.
That is incorrect.
Dang it. Is it 1,000?
No. It is 60 to 75 million dollars.
That was my...
Thus far. Projected that in her lifetime, it will be $100 million.
Okay. Well, that was... When you said that, I was like, that's it. But when you said $1 billion, I was like, what the hey?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking it was a big number.
Well, yeah. But then again, you always think that these people are rich sometimes because they have a really popular something or other, and then you find out that they didn't make diddly squat because it wasn't in the
However,
contracts.
I remember reading about how she's the richest when it comes down to a Christmas song.
Yeah, probably.
Like, she's made the most money out of anybody who's been popular with Christmas music before for just one song.
Okay.
So, yeah.
5. When did the modern idea of Black Friday begin? The 1980s, 1869, 1920s, or the 1950s?
The modern
day. So that's kind of a trick question too, because out of the 4, there's been a term that has been used, Black Friday, but it's not the same.
Because I would say the term that's not the same would be the 1800s.
That's correct.
Because Black Friday was like Black Death or something.
It was
a bad thing.
Yeah, you're right. The 1869 was the stock market crash and financial panic. They called it Black Friday.
Yeah, that sounds right. I knew that one of them was a very bad thing.
Yeah.
And what was the other ones?
1980s, 1920s, or 1950s.
I would say 1980s.
Yep, that is correct. So that is the first time that the term Black Friday was used to mean that, corporations or companies went from the red, meaning that they were losing money, to being in the black when they were making money. The 1950s, that term was coined when the Philadelphia police, they used that term to describe the chaos and crowds after the annual Army-Navy football game, which happens the day after Thanksgiving. So, not the modern day, but they definitely used the term.
They used it for the day after Thanksgiving and everything, too.
I mean, it's still chaotic, but the 1980s is the term that we know today.
Gotcha. Cool.
Number 6. How much money does the average shopper spend on Black Friday?
Oh, God.
A, over $1,000. B, $500. C, $878. Or D, $674.
878.
Nope. The correct answer is D. $674 is what the average shopper spends.
I feel like it was either C or D because it was very specific. I don't know why it's so specific.
Well, that's why I did the 878, because I'm like, I needed another specific one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. When was the term Small Business Saturday first used? And Small Business Saturday was basically to combat the whole big box stores.
Right.
So 2000, 2010, 2020, or 1995?
2000.
It was first used in 2010. And this is not multiple choice or true or false. This is just to see what you can come up with. Number 8, what was served at the first documented Thanksgiving dinner?
The first documented?
Yeah. I mean, like, any type of documentations. It could have been letters.
Was there one thing served?
Well, like, what kinds of things?
Like, duck?
That is one thing, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they had duck. I'm sure some kind of veggies like corn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yam. I don't know. Well, some kind of gourd. Some kind of...
Like a squash.
A squash, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm over here like pumpkin. But like...
Pumpkin is more modern.
Yeah. But it's still the season for it.
Yeah.
So squash, some kind of fruit. I don't think it's the season for fruit.
Yeah.
So...
No. According to...
Is there also ham? Do they still do ham?
No.
That's more modern.
Yeah. According to what I was reading...
Wine.
Probably. It was venison, wild fowl, which is duck and geese, eels, shellfish,
Oh, wow.
corn, beans, and squash, nuts, carrots, onions, and lettuce. They did not have things like potatoes or sweet potatoes or anything like that. They did not have pastries or desserts. They probably had some sort of grain, like a bread or a porridge or something, but...
Hey, Martha, you want an eel?
No.
I figured there was some more meat.
Yeah.
I just couldn't... That's why I said ham, but like I didn't know.
Yeah.
But venison.
Yeah, venison, wild fowl, and eels and shellfish.
Okay.
Yep. So you learned something. This is what I was referring to earlier. True or false? United States is the only country that celebrates Thanksgiving.
I don't know. It's often referred to as it is, but I'm guessing no.
So that is false. Canada also has a Thanksgiving, but theirs takes place in October. I think it was like the second Monday, if I remember. And other countries have a Thanksgiving-ish holiday. It's like a harvest festival. So we have Liberia, Japan, Germany, Grenada, and St. Lucia. I might not have said that right, but...
Okay.
So definitely like that fall harvest type holidays. But Thanksgiving it's considered a United States thing, but Canada definitely has one. It's just not the same time.
It's called Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay.
And number 10, since one of our grievances was, early decorations and like skipping holidays, what percentage of people decorate for Christmas before Thanksgiving?
Oh.
45 to 55%, less than 25%, 27 to 34%, or 60 to 65%.
27 to whatever it was.
27 to 34? Yeah, that
Yeah.
is correct.
Woo.
Some benefits to decorating early are, there's some psychological
Weather.
benefits.
It's weather.
It's weather, but it's also, it puts people in the holiday spirit and just makes them happier in general.
I mean, that's why you turn on your tunes, your Christmas tunes.
Yeah.
But for me, the reason why, even putting up the Halloween decorations a month early was because of weather.
Oh, true.
Because you don't want to be out there forever doing stuff like that.
I see that, but a lot of people decorate before Thanksgiving.
I know. It's stupid, but yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure, like, as soon as Halloween's over, possibly even before.
Yes. So, is that it?
That's it.
That's it. That's the quiz. The quiz. I like it. I feel like I got a lot of them right. I didn't think I'd get any.
No.
A lot of them I want to say are guesses, but I feel like in a way they were educated guesses. I was thinking about logically what makes the most sense. Like, what was that, 27% to what?
34.
It's 27 to 34. Like, if you were like, or 26 to 33, I'd be like, that's just not fair.
Oh, yeah, now that you've mentioned it, I did have, like, 5s in the rest of them, and I should have made it more specific to trick you.
I wasn't really focusing on that. I was focusing on a percentage window. And I was like, it can't be that high. It's got to be low. I know not the lowest that it can be.
Well, I said less than 25%. That could have easily.
It could have, but I didn't think it was that low. So I thought it was close to being low, but there's got to be more. So
it's about a third. 27 to 34, that's about a third of
third
people.
of the country before Thanksgiving. But I'm not surprised because as you saw in the stores, as soon as Halloween was done, you had Christmas stuff up. Screw Thanksgiving. That was not there. So, yeah, it is what it is. All right. So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in to Wait, Did You Hear? You could check us out on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and you can email us at waitdidyouhearpod@gmail.com. These are links that you can find in the description box. Every week there will be a link to the recipe of the week, which includes the shepherd's pie soup as well as the espresso chocolate covered pretzels, as well as a link to check out My Next Breath by Jeremy Renner. Always make sure to share it with your friends. Tell us what you think of the podcast. Give us a review. Suggest what we should do next. And until we meet again, peace out.
Bye.